Hello and welcome. I'm Gauhar Raza and you are watching Eureka, a program that introduces one of the best scientists of the country to you. Today, we have Dr. Asis Datta with us. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for giving us time and coming on
Thank you very much.
Rajya Sabha channel.
Thank you.
It's very tragic for a child to lose his father before he's born. Did it scar your childhood, your memories, and was it difficult for you?
I can tell you, if I tell you frankly, I can say no. Because you understand that.
That's given.
Right. It's a kind of a 3 months before my birth, my father died. So I didn't have any other brother and sister. So even a child who never saw his, that father, certainly, that will never, that come, that, what you are telling me, No. I understand that. If it's a kind of a young age, if father died, I know that there's a different. In my case, the mother also took that father's side. So father and mother is a kind of a mother said that okay. If
The two roles played by
right,
her.
if I tell you, it's very interesting. My grandparents also died before mine. Okay? But my grandmother is a mother's mother. Okay? She was alive and at that time also very young. So what, that I can tell you that she gave the nickname. I'm sure that you know what is the nickname, okay?
Yes.
My name is Asis Datta, but he says it's a tufan. Tufan means it's a storm, okay? So whatever, that kind of, that storming session, according to her, is over after my birth. It's a kind of a blessing, according to her, that. I was very close to her, I can tell you that my mother decided to stay other side, Turkey. This is very simple. Later on, that I realized that why. According to her, and it's true, that my mother's father's side, they're very rich. There's a kind of a lot of lands, this and that and that. But when you talk of the education, according to, that this side, though not rich that way, like my father's, that...
Your father was engineer.
My father...
At that time,
my father was engineer. And not only that, his father's, the brothers were in the school, as a teacher in the school. Okay? So they're educated. But if you, that the reason I can tell you, not now, I realized, of course, long time back. So she decided to stay in Turkey. Why? Because he's the father's uncle. He's again grandfather.
Right.
Okay? And he was really,
Intellectual.
He's a
Scholar of that time, who had come back from Calcutta to Turkey to teach because of freedom movement.
Right, exactly. If I tell you that, he was, the Calcutta University. Is it double MA? I'm talking, that is a time that more than 75, 80 years back, that is to think about that. How many years already just calculated now. Okay, so...
Do you remember Turkey, your school, the river?
Oh, sure.
And how was it? Was it beautiful?
I can tell you that.
Enjoyable atmosphere?
It's excellent, I can tell you that. So, in fact, I was born, as I mentioned to you, in Turkey. It's a Taki Municipality Hospital. Just whenever I visit, I go and see that hospital and all that.
Still, you go there and visit
Yeah,
the
outside.
place?
Yeah,
Right.
like I can tell you, in 2008, you'll be surprised that I was invited by, and Taki, there's a kind of a book they've written, who are the people, that ultimately
Who have contributed and made a significant mark.
Exactly. In 2008, they wanted to felicitate me, Taki Municipality. And the place, that we used to, the playground, it's a big playground, okay? That time also, still today also. And
When did you decide to go to Calcutta,
I'll tell you that.
to the university?
Okay? So I can tell you that I started, that school, Taki Government School, okay? Where I mentioned to you earlier that my grandfather, father's uncle, Asis Datta, was the headmaster. After, gave up the Calcutta University post, he came to Taki, he became. Then he retired from there. Then he became that, again, headmaster of the Ramakrishna Mission School. Though Taki was a kind of a small, that was a village that time, because of the lot of, you say, jamindar, say landlords, they are the one, that. And Taki is located, bank of the river, Ichamoti.
So you
It's
enjoyed
beautiful.
both the water and the land. I have to take a break. Don't go anywhere. The discussion will continue. Welcome back to Eureka. We were discussing with Professor Asis Datta that this is a small village, yet there is an environment of a scholarship and acquiring education. And this is what shaped your life later on. When did you decide to go to Calcutta University, which was one of the best universities in the country at that time?
No, I can tell you that. I did this school in Turkey. Then it's a college. It's an intermediate science. That time, that is a kind of not. After that, it's a BSc. I moved to Calcutta. Because, that school, that time.
And at that time, you had decided that biology is the subject that you are going to
No.
study.
It's not that. That's exactly what I'm telling you, 1960. Okay? After my intermediate science. All right? Some or other, that I thought that I should do the chemistry honors. That time, people, they thought that it's a kind of a mother is there alone. He should go and work something, the technical, but I said...
Take up a job immediately and support the family and all that.
Exactly.
But you were determined.
I was determined. Then
You
plus, that
take up,
it's very interesting. This is the kind of few, that our, close relatives. They were talking, that still I remember that. They were talking about my future. They're talking now, I think it's a widow, his son should work here and there. Last, my mother asked me, what do you want to do? I said, I want to do BSc Chemistry Honours. Then immediately she said that, stop any discussion, this is final. Think about that, what I'm telling you.
She was a solid rock behind you.
Rock behind that. She said that whatever he decided, I think that's final. So no more talk about that, whether he will go and work in a place, some training and other thing. So in fact, that exactly, I did my chemistry honours. That time I tell you that I didn't have any idea of the biology. I came from there. But that is the time, it's a biochemistry department in Calcutta University was, just only a few years.
It was just starting. It was a very new subject at that time.
And that's the time that it's a kind of a, you can get about a month or two, okay, that they say they're all right. If you want to do pure chemistry or applied chemistry, you can do it, okay? But
Biochemistry is an area which is
right.
new.
Choice is a biochemistry. Today, if I say I'll do the biochemistry, but after a month I say that no, I want to change it, you can change. Okay, that's the kind of freedom.
So how did you decide to do biochemistry?
I can tell you that biochemistry, I found that when it's a kind of a teachers were excellent. Okay?
So teachers shaped your future.
Well, that 1 month time, that one teacher, that is a kind of a, he was the head of the department later on. There's a story behind, you don't have much time. In fact, when he spoke about that, what really exactly, that is a DNA, RNA, this is the thing, what is biochemistry? What is molecular biology today? It's a kind of a thing, it's a chemistry base is there. You cannot say that, no, this is the subject for that. Okay, interdisciplinary. And that is the time I thought that, okay, forget about that, it's a pure chemistry or applied. It's a new science where, the chemistry knowledge can be used, and it's a kind of that is exactly biochemistry I started.
You did your PhD and DSc both in Calcutta University.
I did in Bose Institute, Calcutta.
Bose Institute.
Yeah, but it's a Calcutta University. Right.
Yeah. But very prestigious institute.
Right.
Of course, very prestigious. It
No
remains
doubt.
prestigious even today. And you have been awarded by Bose Institute later on. But anyway, the question that I was asking is that when did you decide to go abroad? And whether you had it in mind right from the beginning that you will come back and serve the country, or you wanted to settle down there?
So I'll tell you that. When that time to get, first division class in MSc is rare, it's not many people are diffuse. And they can get the opportunity to go here and there and there. I said no, because I'll do my PhD in Calcutta, where my mother, you understand, that is alone. So and not only that, Bose Institute is a very good place. So I say that a lot of opportunity that time came to do PhD abroad. But I decided not to go. Even I decided not to go out of Calcutta. So we finished that one. And if I tell you that, it took only 3-4 years to finish my PhD. So I left the country in 68. Okay, we got married. And my wife, you met her.
Yes.
And
a wonderful scientist again.
Yeah, we are classmates. We decided to marry and go. Both of us got, that is a postdoctoral, that position in US.
How did your mother feel?
Mother encouraged. Mother liked that.
Even going abroad?
Going abroad.
When she was getting old?
But it doesn't matter. And when we were settled, mother joined us.
Abroad?
Yeah, after a year.
You came back to India, joined one of the most prestigious universities of the country, which was coming up at that time, and decided to be in India and work for the country with the latest knowledge that you gained abroad. You have worked extensively on food security.
And not in abroad.
Not after coming back to India.
Right. I tell you that.
Which is a major issue. And which is a major issue these days. At the moment, the country is debating very widely food security. What has been your contribution in reducing the wastage? That's been an area which has been very close to your heart.
Mm-hmm. No, when I decided to come back, people were surprised. I spent almost 5 years. I had no problem to stay in US. A lot of my friends, they were permanent. So I decided to come back. And to a university that time, nothing was there, You say it's a barren land.
It was trees and...
Nothing, no tree. Yeah. It's a barren land. And trees came, that maybe you don't have much time, so you can see that how it came, let's say, when I became Vice Chancellor. I joined in 1973. I became associate in 1975. I became full professor in 1978. Okay, everybody was, that saying that how it's a record, how one can become full professor. But everybody, that all speculation, everything, they stopped. That when I got that Bhatnagar Award, that is still today is in biological science the youngest Bhatnagar Award. Yeah,
You were the youngest to get Bhatnagar Award, which was a very prestigious award. I have to take a break at the moment. Don't go anywhere. We'll continue the discussion. Welcome back. Professor Datta, we were discussing about your contribution, especially after coming back to India and joining JNU, on the food security of the country, which has been a concern right through 60 years of our independence. And today it is a major burning topic in the country.
Oh, okay.
Can we use the best of the science to improve the food security of the country?
Well, I can tell you that. I can tell you that it's a kind of a country needs not only, you are talking that amount that should be nutritious. Nutrition also comes in the picture. Whatever we eat, whether rice or wheat, that you can find that is a quality, is still, until unless you add something, supplement, quality is not to the standard. And that's exactly, the burning question always, I don't know whether I started to work on, still continuing on that pathogenic yeast and a lot of medicinal thing going on apart from this. Then it's a kind of a thing that how to enhance the, that amount of protein, quality of the protein, and that exactly the discovery of the gene that what first time I did that, and this is a kind of a got that genetically modified potato. Okay.
Yeah. Was that moment for you a Eureka moment? I've done it for my country.
I think so. Not only that, I can tell you that it's one after another. This another one is that people, they get the kidney stone, urinary stone.
Right.
And if you go to doctor said, don't eat tomato.
Correct.
Don't spinach. Why? Because it has a kind of a oxalic acid. Right. And that's exactly discovered again. Is oxalic carboxylase gene. That is the first gene patent from the country. US patent I'm talking. This oxalic carboxylase, if you transfer, get the transgenic, oxalic acid won't be there. So you understand that. It's a kind of an improvement.
So the patient can eat these.
No problem.
Once it is,
not only that.
Genetically modified.
Exactly. Like a Latharus, Kishalidal, Gabadavina band, but it can grow. And our main problem is that we are not getting enough food. So people that take that, doesn't matter whether it is a band or not, because it has a, again, is a toxic thing. That's also auxiliary derivative. So you can use that same one, you can improve, okay? Another thing is very, I'll tell you that. When you go to, you can find that a lot of farmers, myself visited several farmers' house. Suicide. It started in Gujarat, Andhra, West Bengal, these. Why? They take the loan from the government.
Right.
Okay? But they grow in a small, they don't have that big plot, They grow the tomato.
It is subsistence farming.
But they have only hardly 10 days. Tomato will not last. They don't have any storage facility. They don't have any transportation facility to take that one from village to a city.
A city like Delhi.
And city, the price goes up because the supply is limited. And think about that. When this kind of situation, farmers, they cannot pay back. A lot of suicide cases. Think about that. Every time the newspaper says that.
40% of our fruits and vegetables get destroyed on our way. to cities before they come to market. But you did work on that and improved the quality and durability of these fruits. How did you do it?
That's the whole idea at that time that came. It's a kind of a softening, it's a kind of a, when you have the tomato, you keep it, that's why exactly ultimately it's a fungal pathogen and all kinds of things, they infect. So whole idea at that time that if you can, the lower down, here you are not adding any gene, but it's an existing gene of that if you silence. Okay, that's what we discovered. Alpha monocyte is an hexasaminidase, 2 genes. It came in top journal of that. But anyway, if you silence, now that from 10 days, it can last 45 days. Think about that. That farmer...
But pathogens are not going to attack it very easily.
As you will not attack.
Right.
That was another thing is that...
Very simple idea, but you must have worked on it for years together.
But it's a novel idea that how to select those alpha that nobody has done that way. So anyway, that's the thing. Ultimately, now it's a 45 days, what I'm telling you. Farmers, they don't have to bother. They can grow. They can use this one. And not only that, this same technique can be used for your banana. We have done already capsicum, published. And all this, that fruits and vegetables, I think that. I don't know whether you know or not. 60,000 crores of the money every year we lose for these post-harvest loss.
And that will be saved for the country.
We can save for the country.
You have published n number of papers. It's a large number of papers. You have patented 17 different patents. Go to your credit. And the number of awards that you have got runs into pages. All Indian awards that could be aspired for by anybody, you have got them. Right from Bhatnagar Award to Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan, etc. Is there any award that you would like to win even now?
I can tell you frankly, if you ask me, I'll consider that will be the award if I find that all this technology, people, they can use that.
That is the biggest award for you?
That's the biggest award for me.
If the technologies are in operation and people use it for the country and development of humankind, that is the biggest award. But among these awards...
The society can get benefit, that's the whole thing.
Among these awards, which award do you consider to be most close to your heart?
Difficult to tell that. I can tell you that.
All the awards are same. Would you like to sign off after giving a message to the younger generation?
I can tell you that always, I think that what Albert Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Anything it should be, originality has to be there, And whatever you do and think about that, that can get, someday, some benefit. It's not that to think, but you should know, but you should be serious, and if you see how one can use that thing, that for the next generation after generation.
Flight of imagination is more important than knowledge. That is the message we carry back home. May I, on your behalf, promise our viewers that you will be happy to answer questions if they have any?
No problem.
Good. Write to us at address Eureka RSTV as one word @gmail.com. We'll come back with one more scientist of the country who has significantly contributed. Till then, goodbye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You gave so much of time. It was just wonderful.